I want you to imagine just for a second that you're taking a walk along a really nice sunlit woodland path.
Oh, that sounds ideal right now.
Right. Or maybe you're just browsing your local farmer's market on a Sunday morning, and you find these perfect, plump, deep purple-black blackberries.
Oh, yeah. The ones that perfectly balance that sharp tartness with this, like, deep, jammy sweetness.
Exactly. You're looking at this quintessential summer snack, holding a handful of fresh fruit. But from a biochemical standpoint, you're actually holding a handful of microscopic keys.
Which is such a wild way to think about it.
It is, because these molecules are so specifically shaped and, so incredibly potent that they can unlock and bypass the most highly secure vault in the human body,
Yeah, your brain.
your actual brain.
It's a profound shift in perspective, really, when you stop seeing it as just fruit and start seeing it as, well, a highly complex chemical delivery system.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because today's deep dive is based on a fascinating stack of research exploring the nutritional science of this really common summer fruit.
And we're not just going to sit here and say, food is good for you.
No, our mission today is way beyond that. You already know fruit is good for you. Instead, we want to look under the hood. We're going to decode the actual biochemical mechanisms at play when you eat these dark velvet jewels.
Right. And to do that, we're really focusing on 3 specific areas today. First, the fruit's just extraordinary antioxidant capacity.
Which is mind-blowing on its own.
It really is.
Yeah.
Second is its surprisingly complex fiber profile. And third, like you mentioned, its unique ability to physically interact with the brain.
So to understand any of that, I think we have to start right at the surface, right? The literal skin of the fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in the botanical world, color is, well, it's rarely just an aesthetic choice.
It's functional.
Highly functional. Deep, intensely dark pigments are biological indicators. They're a plant's primary defense mechanism against environmental stressors.
Like what kind of stressor?
Think harsh UV radiation from the sun or pathogens in the soil. The plant synthesizes these robust chemical defenses, and those defenses just happen to be highly visible to the human eye.
Right, they're like nature's flashing neon signs advertising this payload of protective phytochemicals.
That's a great way to put it. And with the blackberry, that dark velvet jewel color is driven by a specific compound called anthocyanins.
Okay, anthocyanins. Now, anyone who follows health science knows that anthocyanins are a specialized class of flavonoids, right?
Right, the ones with serious antioxidant properties.
Yeah, but the sources we're looking at suggest the blackberry isn't just, participating in the antioxidant game, it's dominating it.
Ah, the data is staggering. Researchers quantify antioxidant power using something called the ORC score.
ORAC.
Yeah, oxygen radical absorbance capacity. It's basically a standardized lab test measuring how well a food can neutralize different types of free radicals.
How do blackberries do?
They consistently rank near the very top of all fruits tested. I mean, they entirely outperform many common berries and totally eclipse citrus fruits.
But wait, how does this actually work practically in the body? Because assuming we all know what oxidative stress is.
Right, that cascade of cellular damage.
Exactly. Let's use an analogy. If our blood vessels are like pipes, are free radicals like rust forming in those pipes?
That is actually a brilliant analogy, yes. Oxidative stress is like rust degrading the pipes, and the anthocyanins in blackberries act as powerful anti-inflammatory agents that neutralize that rust.
Okay, so how are they so much better at it than, say, the vitamin C in an orange?
It comes down to their molecular architecture. Anthocyanins have this incredibly dense structure of hydroxyl groups.
Which means what exactly?
Think of them as having multiple docking stations. While a simpler antioxidant might neutralize one free radical and then, become inactive itself, an anthocyanin is different.
It can handle more.
Way more. Its complex structure allows it to absorb and delocalize multiple free radicals without becoming destabilized itself.
So they act less like a single-use sponge and more like a molecular grounding wire,
Yeah.
just constantly dissipating that chaotic electrical energy.
Yes. That is a much more accurate way to visualize it. And when we apply that to cardiovascular health, the so what for you listening is huge.
Because it's working specifically in the blood vessel walls.
Right, precisely. Clinical studies link these anthocyanin-rich berries directly to cardiovascular health. They quench the oxidative stress in the vascular tissue, which improves arterial elasticity.
Meaning your blood vessels stay flexible.
Exactly, and that leads to structurally lower blood pressure. It's incredible.
It really is. But having discussed what absorbs into the bloodstream, these delicate antioxidants, We have to talk about how they survive.
Ah, the digestion process.
Yeah, because the stomach is this incredibly harsh, highly acidic environment. How does this payload actually make it through?
Well, the conversation naturally shifts here to the physical mechanism that controls that digestion. The blackberry doesn't just hand you free-floating antioxidants.
Well-
It encases them in a highly protective cellular matrix. Which brings us to fiber.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because when we talk about fiber, people usually picture like a heavy bowl of oatmeal or beans or whole grains.
Sure, the standard bulk foods.
Right. But a single small cup of blackberries contains a massive 8 grams of dietary fiber.
It's an incredible nutritional stat.
It's wild. That's nearly a third of your daily requirement, sitting in this tiny cup of delicate fruit. How is that physically possible?
It has to do with the botanical structure of the blackberry itself. It's technically what's called an aggregate fruit.
An aggregate fruit.
Yeah, so every single one of those little round bumps on a blackberry.
It's little juice buckets.
Right, they are called druplets, and each one is actually an individual fruit containing its own microscopic seed and its own tough structural cell walls.
Oh, wow. So when you eat one blackberry, you're biologically consuming dozens of tiny fruits at once.
Exactly. It's a density play, and that density gives you a highly specialized fiber profile divided into two types, insoluble and soluble fiber.
Okay, let's break this down. What is the insoluble fiber doing?
That's the seeds and the tough cellular walls. It doesn't break down in water. It basically adds bulk and acts as a mechanical force, keeping your digestive tract moving smoothly.
So it's like a transit system, just sweeping everything through.
Exactly, the mechanical sweeper. But the soluble fiber is where things get really fascinating metabolically.
Right, especially regarding blood sugar, which makes this a fantastic low-sugar fruit. How does this soluble fiber work?
Well, soluble fiber dissolves in water, but it doesn't disappear. It hydrates and expands in the stomach, turning the liquid into this highly viscous, gel-like matrix.
Oh, so it's physically trapping things. I'm picturing this like a nightclub bouncer.
A bouncer, I like that.
Yeah. So you consume sugar, even just the natural fructose in the berry. And instead of this rush of sugar hitting the bloodstream all at once,
Spiking your blood sugar.
right, the bouncer, the soluble fiber, slows everyone down at the door. It binds to cholesterol and slows down glucose absorption.
It creates a slow, steady trickle, which prevents those sharp blood sugar spikes and insulin crashes. But that's not all it does.
Because it also travels down to the lower digestive tract,
Yes, and that is where the fiber serves as a powerful prebiotic.
basically feeding the good bacteria.
Exactly. It effectively feeds beneficial gut microbes, promoting a thriving, diverse microbiome, which is crucial for everything from immunity to metabolism.
Okay, so we've established how it affects the gut.
Mm.
And you hear people call the gut the body's second brain all the time now.
Oh, constantly. The gut-brain axis is huge in longevity research right now.
Right, which sets us up perfectly to transition to the actual brain. Because the sources we read show that we're not just talking about gut signals here, we are talking about these compounds physically traveling into neural command centers.
We are. But to really grasp why that's so special, we have to talk about the natural aging process of the brain first.
Okay, lay it on us, the bad news.
Well, over time, our brains are subjected to continuous oxidative stress and neuroinflammation.
Like the rust in the pipes we talked about earlier.
Exactly. But in your neural tissue, this chronic stress gradually impairs memory and cognitive function over time.
But wait, the brain has a defense system, right? The blood-brain barrier.
It does. It's the ultimate security system.
Right, it acts as this exclusive, highly restrictive VIP section of the body that keeps most things out. So how on earth do blackberries get past it?
What's fascinating here is that the polyphenols in blackberries, well, they don't just brute force their way in.
They need an invitation.
Sort of. Remember those gut microbes we just fed with 8 grams of fiber?
Yeah, the thriving microbiome.
Right. Those bacteria actually metabolize the large berry polyphenols into smaller, highly lipid-soluble compounds.
Oh, so they break them down into something new.
Yes. And because the blood-brain barrier is largely made of lipids, or fats, these newly metabolized compounds have the exact chemical structure needed to slip right through the barrier.
That is wild. The gut bacteria essentially forge a biological VIP pass for these compounds to enter the brain.
That is exactly what happens. They can actually cross the blood-brain barrier directly into neural tissues.
Okay, so they're in. They made it past the velvet rope. What is their mechanism of action once they get inside? Do they just hang out?
Oh no, they get straight to work. It's a 3-pronged attack. First, they act as a cellular cleanup crew, clearing out metabolic debris that builds up around neurons.
Wow.
Second, they actively reduce inflammation within the brain cells themselves.
Basically putting out the smoldering fire.
Exactly. And third, they actively improve communication between the neurons.
Wait, really? They don't just protect the brain, they upgrade it.
They do. They influence proteins that promote the growth of new synapses.
That is incredible. And the sources back this up with actual studies, right?
Oh, extensively. Animal and human observational studies consistently show this.
Yeah, I remember reading that diets rich in dark berries can actually delay age-related cognitive decline.
By years in some observational studies.
And it improves motor coordination and increases memory retention. I mean, it's essentially long-term insurance for the brain.
It really is. It's neuroprotection on a cellular level.
Okay, this has been an incredible journey from the skin of the fruit all the way into our neurons. So what does this all mean for you listening today?
Well, it's a lot of biochemistry to take in.
It is. So let's summarize the 3 core takeaways for you. Number 1, that deep, dark color means sky-high anthocyanins. That is your elite antioxidant and anti-inflammatory heart protection.
Right. Number 2, that massive 8 grams of fiber per cup makes it a top-tier food for your gut and metabolic health.
The bouncer in the transit system.
Exactly. And number 3, those polyphenols, once digested by your microbiome, act as brain armor against cognitive aging.
It's just phenomenal.
And you know, the real takeaway here is that this isn't just about obsessively reading nutrition labels.
Right. Nobody wants to do that all day.
Exactly. It's about making a really simple, delicious choice for your taste buds that pays massive biological dividends for your longevity.
A bowl of berries. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
It really is.
Well, I want to leave you all with a final thought to ponder today. We talked a lot about the blood-brain barrier. It is notoriously strict. It acts as the ultimate security system for our neural tissue.
The toughest VIP door in the body.
Exactly. But if the polyphenols from this humble blackberry possess the unique biochemical key to cross over and act as a cellular cleanup crew,
It makes you wonder.
it really does. What other intensely dark, undiscovered pigments hidden out there in the botanical world might possess similar VIP access to the brain?
Oh, there has to be more.
Right, just waiting to be unlocked. Something to think about next time you're staring at the fruit stand. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.